up, Internet? This is Kyle with Slapshot Toys and Comics doing yet another Star Wars Elite Series figure review. Tonight we're going to be taking a look at the Boba Fett figure. The Elite Series is a Disney Store exclusive line, so this figure is available at all Disney stores and DisneyStore.com. I'm quite excited to open this guy up. This is a re-release from a figure that they did back in November, and they actually added a couple little details that make him more film accurate from Return of the Jedi. So I'm quite excited to get this figure open and add him to my collection. So let's go ahead and take a look. Alright, and here is our bounty hunter out of the packaging, and I gotta say, this figure is just absolutely stunning. Everything from the paint apps to the sculpting to the little details that they put on it. I mean, this is one really cool figure. Just first impressions, I think this may be the best figure that Disney has put in this line. I just can't say enough about it, and I've only had it out of the package for about 5 minutes. So let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories that it does come with, and then we'll take a look at the figure itself. So with this being an Elite Series figure, we get the standard accessories that we have with all the other figures in the line. Just one weapon that's used in the film, and then the base. The base is the exact same as what we have gotten with all the other figures. So it's the kind of metallic texture sculpted in there with the Star Wars logo sculpted, and then the foot peg up there on the left-hand side. Now, if you guys watched my previous video on the classic Stormtrooper, you guys will know that I wasn't too thrilled with the blaster that they sculpted with that figure, but I will say they more than made up for it with the Boba Fett figure. The detailing and sculpting on this is just phenomenal. Everything from the detail here on the back end to the gunmetal silver, and then they put a lot of just kind of brown and gold accents that just show some battle damage from all his bounties that he's collected, and dirt. I mean, you can just kind of see like in the where they sculpted all these little grooves here, they just have that goldish brown throughout, and I mean it just looks phenomenal. And then they did a fantastic job on the scope. Same, you get all the little battle damage on that. You get little nicks here and there. This is just a fantastic accessory to go with a fantastic figure. So now we're going to take a look at the figure itself, and I'm really excited because this is the first time I've been able to get him stand without the little stand that he came with, and I'll show you guys at least what mine has with it, the reason I haven't been able to get him to stand. But first we'll take a look at some of the detailing, and I am just speechless about how good this figure really does look. So if we zoom in here just a little bit, I mean the sculpting on this helmet is just phenomenal. You have everything. You have battle damage right here. You have all the wear and tear all over his helmet. It just looks phenomenal. And then you move down to the chest plate, and I mean it's just stunning. You have all the battle damage. You have the paint chipping off. The armor, the way it's sculpted, is just fantastic with the actual individual pieces. And then you have his just Under Armour just coming through. I mean, it just looks awesome. You have the little logo right there. On the arms, you have these shoulder pads that, again, the battle damage just looks fantastic. The coloring that they used for this gray undersuit is just, it looks awesome. It looks dirty, it looks worn, it looks like he's seen a lot of battles. And same going down here to the forearm armor. All just like the little details as far as the technology that he has in these gauntlets, and then you go down to the hands, and again you get the kind of dirty grays that just make it look like he's seen a lot of battle, and that's just fantastic. And then even if you switch over to this side, you have the hoses coming down from the jetpack into his gauntlets. You have the bounty hunter logo right there on this left shoulder pad. Again, you see like all the battle damage there in the helmets. I mean, it's just awesome. And then looking down on the bottom half of the figure, you see the utility belt with all the little pouches, and then even has like the little flaps overlapping. Just looks like leather. I mean, the paint apps on this are phenomenal. I can't say that enough. Going down a little bit lower, you have these two little pads right here. Again, you get like the kind of dirty gray throughout. Knee pads look fantastic with the chipped battle damage. Going down to the shins, same thing. You get the little pieces of armor sticking out there, and the boots look really well. Look really good with the black and brown. And then look on the back. I mean, it even has like the little satchels right there on the side. The ropes there that are sculpted that just look fantastic that go down to the satchel. And then the part that I really like is how well they did the jetpack on his back. So you have like the two little thrusters here, but you have all the details on those, the bow damage on the main part, and then the little missile right there. I mean, this figure is phenomenal. Disney did a phenomenal job creating this figure. Now, as you can see, you do get, as I take it out just a little bit, you do get the screw holes that the diecast figures do have. But they aren't nearly as bad as what they are in the Stormtrooper because he has so many accessories on his back. They hide a lot of them, but even with that, I don't think it's a big deal at all. The one thing I did forget to mention, going through all the details of this figure, is this was a re-release from a figure that they released back in November, and Disney actually made a few changes on this one. The biggest one was they actually added this cape that goes over his shoulder here, which actually is film accurate to Return of the Jedi. So there is an actual difference between the one they released in November and the one they just released here back in April to celebrate the Force Awakens release. So that is the difference between the two figures. Taking a look at the articulation on this figure, he does have side-to-side motion on his mask there. He can look up, not a whole lot, look down just a little bit, so about the same as the Stormtrooper. Not a whole lot of range of motion on the head other than side to side. He can put his arms out about that far. He does have a hinge on his elbow that goes about 90 degrees roughly. The one really nice thing that I have been kind of complaining about in some of the other figures in this line is the inability to no bicep swivel or no forearm swivel, so you really can't do like a gun across the chest pose. I got really excited when I took this out because if you look really closely right here, I thought that was an actual bicep swivel. Unfortunately, it's not. And the wrists do rotate. So the wrists do rotate. He does rotate at the hip or at the waist. He does, and now mine actually is extremely loose, so you can see when I do that. That's the reason I can't get him to stand very well without the base. I have the last couple times I've tried, I've been able to get him to stand pretty well, but mine is a little bit loose. Hopefully they're not all that way, but I'll have to see. Let me know in the comments if you guys pick this figure up, if yours is loose as well. But he can kick forward quite a bit, about that much. And then as far as going back, he can actually go back quite a bit as well, going back about that far. He does have a single joint at the knee. It's not the greatest, not even a 90 degree. There is no thigh swivel or anything like that. And then the boots up and down. But as with almost all the Elite Series figures, there is no rotation and no ankle pivot. Here's a quick side-by-side of the Boba Fett and the Elite Series Darth Vader. Again, I think these are in scale almost perfectly. They stand, Boba Fett's just a little bit shorter and about the same width, which I think is pretty film accurate from the scenes that they do have together. But I think that these two look fantastic standing next to each other. And here's all three figures from the original trilogy wave in the Elite Series next to one another. And I gotta say, as much as I love the Darth Vader and the Stormtrooper, the Boba Fett just absolutely makes this series. The time and attention to detail that Disney put into this figure is absolutely fantastic. I honestly think even out of all the Force Awakens figures that I have gotten in the series as well, Boba Fett is by far my favorite. Just everything about him is just amazing, to put it into a simple word. So that's going to do it on my review of the Elite Series Boba Fett. I cannot say this enough of how simply amazing this figure really is. Everything from the paint apps to the sculpting to the accessories. This is just a phenomenal Boba Fett figure, and I honestly can say this is a must-have for any Star Wars fan, Boba Fett fan, definitely an Elite Series collector, and just someone who likes Star Wars in general. If you have any interest in a Boba Fett in your collection, I have to say this is the definitive figure to get outside of like Hot Toys or Sideshow or something that's crazy expensive. But for a $25 figure, if you can find this, it's absolutely phenomenal. Unfortunately, I did just look on DisneyStore.com, and it does look like this figure is 100% sold out. I don't know if you'll still be able to find them in stores if they still have stock available. But if you are able to find it at cost, this is a phenomenal figure, and honestly, it's probably worth even a little bit more than $25. So if you're able to find it for a decent price, I would not hesitate at all to pick this up. I want to thank you guys so much for checking out this video. If you guys did like this video, please hit the like button, and please subscribe, as I will have more Star Wars Elite Series videos coming, more Marvel Select figures coming, a couple Hot Toy reviews, and I'll also be getting the Funko Civil War subscription box coming here in a couple weeks that I'll be doing a review for as well. So subscribe, that way you guys don't miss out on any of this content. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of these videos, what you think of the Elite Series, if you guys like the Black Series better than the Elite Series, vice versa. If you have this Boba Fett figure, let me know if you think as highly of it as I do. I'm really kind of curious to see if it's just me that loves this figure, or if everybody else really thinks it's as good as I do. That's going to do it for me tonight. I thank you guys so much for checking this video out, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.